This presentation video will be divided into 5 parts. The first one is problem analysis presented by Ahmad Vauza. Question 1 will be answered by Nadhifah Habibie. Question 2 will be answered by Farrelino Alandri. Question 3 will be answered by Arif Fauzan. And finally, lesson learned from this case will be explained by Gabelly Sharmila.
Alright, the case study of the case waiting for clearance is most talking about followership. Why we can say it's most talking about followership? Because the case study waiting for clearance concentrate on the leadership concept of followership and how it affects followers and leaders within an organization. The company involved in the case study is Alphon Biometric. The case study is analyze the relationship between CEO Tony Buzzer and his COO Juan Carlos de la Vega. And also they are concentrate on exploring followership concept relating to how COO Juan de la Vega's handling of repairing the follower leadership relationship that he has with CEO Buzzer a year after being hired by the Alphon Biometric company. The CEO raved about how knowledgeable De La Vega was when he was hired as the new COO. And also our group think that he would try to use the expert power that De La Vega had to get the subordinates to come to him instead of going straight to Buzzer for direction. De La Vega was not sure that he had any legitimate power with his new position, but he could have used his knowledge of biometric to have expert power that would have helped him as his subordinates shift their attention from Buzzer to him. Expert power is power resulting from a leader's special knowledge or skill regarding tasks performed by follower, and when a leader is a true expert, subordinates go along with recommendation because of his or her superior knowledge. And we are 100% believe that De La Vega could have used this to get his subordinates to stop bypassing him and going to the CEO. And also our group think that De La Vega should have strived to gain a clearer understanding of what his role would be as the day-to-day operational leader. He could have employed the 5 principles of followership to establish a successful relationship with Buzzer as CEO. Because the CEO failed to manage up and down the hierarchy scale of his own organization as a leader and would not relinquish power, the CEO was dependent upon De La Vega to be his key point man. In day-to-day operation, the follower leader's relationship is important to both the leader and the follower because leaders of higher organization levels depend upon their subordinate for information, support, and assistance in accomplishing the organization goals. Okay, and from the explanation from this case study, we can say that this case study most talking about the followership. And also this is really related with our part 3 of the personal side of leadership. Personal side of leadership is about what does it mean to lead ourselves. If we are as a leader, we should lead ourselves first. What is the mean of ourselves? It means when you are the boss, the business owner, the top of the leader, you must figure out how to get the best performance out of ourselves. And while it may seem counterintuitive, that often means asking for help. And also the conclusion of our material in part 3, talking about the personal side of leadership. Leading yourself well means asking for help frequently and without shame. Leading yourself well means protecting your time, talents, energy, and family the way you would for one of your followers or employees. Leading yourself well means knowing how much rest you personally need to return to baseline and ensuring you get it. And leading yourself means delegating to others who are capable and happy to lighten your loads. Okay, and thank you.
Answering question number 1. If you were De La Vega, what would you do at this point? Do you think De La Vega has waited too long to make a substantial change in his relationship with Buzzard, and why? Well, as De La Vega, I'd definitely ask the CEO to have a personal meeting with me to set up boundaries and also tell me exactly what is expected of me and also what is my job description. This is because this problem has even affected the way I feel about the company themselves. This is because every time I ask the CEO, he has always brushed off the idea that I need to have a meeting with him, and I don't feel very respected, and that doesn't feel good. And also, if I don't set up this meeting and talk things out, over time, I'd be a walking time bomb, and the next thing I know, I'd rather quit than continue working in a place that doesn't value me or my roles. Now, not only as day goes on, this continued to cost the company a tremendous amount of effectivity because the employees also don't know how to address me and what they should be addressing me towards as a CEO. But De La Vega also isn't sure of what he's supposed to do as well and is wasting his time and potentials there. Now, as to if it's too late or not, well, we can say that it's a little bit too late as 1 year of doing things isn't a short time. And why did it take him so long to actually come forward and actually to finally talk about things to the CEO? But what actually matters is the fact that he actually is willing to actually set up the boundaries is better than actually not setting up the boundaries at all. And this actually creates a boundaries and also personal growth towards De La Vega as a person for him to be able to live up to his own potential and for the company to actually grow more in effectivity.
Okay, next is question number 2 and also the solution for the number 2. Okay, the question is, how would you categorize De La Vega's style as a follower, and what tactics might help improve his relationship with Buzzard? Explain. So, based on the theory on chapter 7, we know there are 5 types of followership, and we believe that De La Vega's is one of this followership style. We would like to categorize De La Vega's style of following as an unconfident, weak, and unprofessional. But in the same time, he is actually a critical thinker because he has a lot of things to do for his new position and has a lot of his own vision. And also, he kept thinking that the CEO doing is wrong. He always kept asking in his mind. That show that he is a critical thinker. But by that, we categorize De La Vega's followership is alienated follower. Because he is actually a critical thinker person, but he only passive on the organization. This is also because the CEO fault, because the Tony Buzzard fault, that he become this kind of followership. Buzzard's style of leading is unorganized and unprofessional. There are mistakes being made on behalf of both parties in this case. On De La Vega's case is that he's making mistake because he don't want to ask the Tony Buzzard of what Tony Buzzard doing is wrong, and from the Tony Buzzard perspective is he is making mistake of not properly training his employees to do their position to do the best of their abilities. So the tactics that might help improve this kind of case is that in order to fix this, a formal meeting should be held with both parties where they outline the specific duties and scope of the position.
Answering question number 3. If you were in De La Vega's position, what will you have done from the beginning? Be specific about your action and timing. Well, if I were in De La Vega positions, I will ask a lot of questions in advance, such as asking about the work to be carried out, job limits, the responsibilities that will be carried out, so that there is the clarity in the job agreement. This is very important to do before the placement until I knew fully understood about the scope of my positions, because if there is no clarity in the work agreement, doubts or confusion will arise so that our work will not be optimal in the future. And the followers also need specific and ambiguous goals and objectives on both an individual and team level. Having clear goals helps people know where to focus their attention and energy, enables them to track their own progress, and lets them feel a sense of pride and accomplishment when goals are achieved.
Now we talk about the lesson learned. There are a few things that we can learn from this case, such as self-leadership. De La Vega should have had better self-leadership and determine what he expects from his job in order to know his responsibility. Even as a COO, he is still supposed to be a person employees to go for guidance and play a role as a leader. Then it itself could be emphasized better if he had better self-leadership that wouldn't put him in the position he is in right now. The next point is understanding job performance and responsibility according to their position. The things that happened in the case was CEO didn't understand the limits of his job according to his position, and instead did something that was not his responsibility but the responsibility of CEO. The hard work that has done by COO is considered the job of CEO. This because he didn't know the limits of his own job. The third point is clarity in an agreement. In making an agreement, it must be done by the final result in which both parties understand what will be agreed upon, so that there won't be the things like De La Vega who doesn't fully understand about his own job. There should be a clear division of duties regarding each position in a company itself. The last point is about the communication skill. If a company didn't apply the good communication skill in the workplace in the company itself, it would be easy to happen a misunderstanding in many situations inside of the company. The communication between colleagues as well as superiors and subordinates who are more coordinated.